Hey everyone, my name is Micah Howe and I'm here with Tiny Towns. Tiny Towns is building tiny homes that builds big communities. So who are we? Tiny Towns is the next generation of student rental housing options that allows for students to live in their own tiny home while being engulfed in a community of like-minded students. College is an opportunity to tackle new experiences head-on, and Tiny Towns is creating an opportunity for college students to experience this fun and unique living environment while at the peak of their college career. Tiny Towns will go further than just providing this distinctive living experience. It will also place a heavy focus on the community of its residents. Now, we don't want our members to simply live in a tiny home. We want them to create a big community. So we're doing this to solve what problem? Now, we want to do this at the University of Alabama, which has a rising student population, limited housing variety, and a sparse solo housing option. And so, with all that said, as we see UA welcoming in their largest freshman class year after year, and as we've just surpassed over 40,000 students here at UA, we are looking for more housing options. And so UA has begun partnering with apartment complexes. As we see dorms selling out, we've partnered with East Edge. We have partnered with the Lofts in the past. And so as these partnerships continue, we see a new need for more and more housing options here in Tuscaloosa for our students. And so we want to come in and be that solution, providing a new and exciting opportunity for UA students. With that, our target market is college students here at the University of Alabama, and then more specifically, males ages 18 to 24. So you probably ask, Michael, why target males specifically? You're cutting your population in half, and with that, I will tell you that we believe, and studies have shown, that men are more likely to try new things, on top of when men are more likely to live alone. And so while we do really want to focus on the community aspect, you do have your own tiny home, and we believe that through this unique opportunity, men would be more likely to give it a try more than females would. So with that said, furthermore, we want to target student organizations that do not currently have a community living option. So we have over 600 student organizations, and less than 50 of those currently have a community living option on campus. So we want to come in and provide this opportunity because you join organizations of like-minded people. And so we want to create and foster a community culture that we are building amongst our tenants, and anyone that can live in a house, we believe that we can create that neighborly environment, and that will be crucial to the experience of living in a tiny home, to creating that positive experience. And so as we create that, we look out on Tuscaloosa, and right now students currently really only have 4 housing options. You can either live in a dorm, a house, an apartment, or a triplex. So while these options are great, they all fall under the same kind of downsides or cons. They're inconvenient, they're overpriced, they're crowded, or they're frankly just kind of boring. And so Tiny Towns wants to come in and offer this new and exciting option. So right now, as we look throughout Tuscaloosa, your average 1-bedroom apartment goes for about $925. As you get closer to campus, specifically within 2 miles of campus, that rate goes up. And we believe that we could charge about a $1,100 to $1,200 rate because of our updated houses and our proximity to campus. And so you hear all this and you say, hey, that sounds great, but why would I live in a tiny home? Why would I give that a try? And so I'll be the first to tell you, tiny homes are not for everybody. But I do believe that plenty of students would want to give it a shot and would find it as an overall enjoyable experience. And so why would you want to live in a tiny home? Because it offers flexibility. It provides you an experience that I believe many students would love to give a try. You command your own space. There's no more worrying about what time is your roommate going to get back and are they going to wake you up at night? Or how often is your roommate going to do the dishes? You no longer have to worry about these things. Also, college is creating lifelong experiences, and this is an experience that people will never forget. Try living in a tiny home before you have to worry about a family or a job or all these responsibilities that come after college. You can try this brand new experience while you're here during your 4 years at UA while you're here in college. And so we want to provide that option. And then lastly, we don't want you to feel like you live entirely alone. We do want to create more of that community experience, like I said, that neighborly culture that around you and during your time you can grill out with, you can play pickleball with, you can watch movies with, whatever that looks like. Living in this community, we will hold events throughout the year to help foster this community and create that neighborly culture. So, how are we marketing? How are we getting the word out for this new project? largely word of mouth. We want to create kind of that talk of the town effect. And to do that, we will hold several block parties, several open houses, so that students around campus begin to talk about, hey, this new project going on down the street is really cool. I want to give it a try. Things like that. We also will create and work on our social media in order to kind of create several student ambassadors. These will be ambassadors that live in our community, but then also kind of document what it's like to live in this community. And so we believe that this could be a trend on social media, that right now you see people on TikTok decorating their dorms. Now you can decorate your tiny homes. We believe that we could create this trend. This could be a cool and new opportunity and exciting to watch, and kind of go along that process with. So social media and word of mouth will be our two largest components in marketing. Now, again, you're saying, hey, all this sounds great. Must cost a lot of money. And it does. But overall, we think that this could cost us about $1.7 million to get off the ground and to build and to kind of run that first year. And so you see property and building costs are our largest overall expenses. The utility setup comes in right behind that. That's getting running water, electricity, things like that, all going to the houses. And then amenities coming in just behind that. And that is kind of building your pickleball courts, your big pavilion for people to hang out under, your grills for people to grill out, your fire pits, things like that for people to build this neighborly culture in this community. And then miscellaneous, you have your marketing, things like that, landscaping, self-explanatory. So, how are we doing this? How long is it going to take? So we plan to spend the next several months funding and buying the property for this project, so that hopefully we can kick off construction in July and then have the community ready to go 1 year later in July of 2025. Students will be able to move in for the start of school in 2025, in August of 2025. And then looking forward, we don't want this to stop at 25 tiny homes here in Tuscaloosa. We hope to research other opportunities and either expand here in Tuscaloosa or look for other college towns that we believe our model would work in. In an ideal world, we begin in 2028, but once we have proven results from this flagship community right here in Tuscaloosa, we can look to expand further. So, projections. Now, this is without that expansion that I just talked about in the last slide, but if we come in and offer a $1,000 rent per month, that's about $300,000 based on 25 houses per year. So as you go up, we believe that we could break even by roughly 2030. And this is also factoring in that we believe it will cost roughly $50,000 year, just kind of yearly expenses, recurring expenses for employees, social media, things like that, website, just yearly expenses. So break even by 2030, that is without ever expanding. But as you all know how business works, you expand, you make more money at the same time. Factor that in all together. So with all of that said, moving on, I've told you before that my name is Micah Howell. This will actually be my second venture as an entrepreneur. And so I'm currently winding down my first venture in search of a more stable and dependable job that I can do on the side of my full-time job. And so my first venture generated over $150,000 in contracts and will finish as a profitable business after just 2 years of operation. So I have experience in this field. I love entrepreneurship. I'm passionate about entrepreneurship. And as I graduate in August, I'm actually looking to leave my mark here in Tuscaloosa. And I believe that tiny towns could be the way that I do that. So that's who I am. I'm also currently looking for a partner. I'm talking to a couple people, but I'm looking for a partner who has experience in real estate, possibly construction, who can kind of help come alongside me and guide me through that side of things, because I love entrepreneurship, but real estate is not my specialty. I know a lot about it. I've done courses on it, but I'm not an expert on it. I want an expert to come along and help me out. So as we start to wind everything down here, I wanted to provide you this visual just so you could see roughly and get an idea of what I'm talking about. You can see the tiny homes lined up along the side, and then kind of those community spaces here in the middle. So I envision about 25 tiny homes lined up along the sides, and then common areas in the middle for our tenants to hang out, to get to know each other, to kind of build this neighborly culture that I talked about earlier. In the middle, I could see a big pavilion, some pickleball courts, possibly a pool. We'll look at insurance and everything that comes along with that. But that's what I envision there. And then to close this out, I wanted to say thank you, ask if you had any questions, and then to finish it out by asking you to partner with me to create tiny towns, tiny homes that build big communities. Thank you.